Ladies and gentlemen, how you doing? Tom Willard here with Tom Willard Trading. It's end of March, March 31st, end of the first quarter in the evening, doing a rare midweek video here, but I had some time and I thought I'd put it together. Some things are materializing here and I want to make sure I get out some timely information on this. Haven't done a video in about 5 weeks. The last video I did, if you look at my list, is February 12th. You notice that was right here on this day. Um, and you can see that we've gone up from there. And I talked about how I got short the markets on a nice move down, and I'm looking to get short again. And I've tweeted about this as well. Let's move ourselves over here to the weekly chart. You'll notice this is my normal 4-pane window. Got the daily chart here, the weekly chart here, the 60-minute and the 15-minute. So it actually goes from smallest to largest here from the lower right quadrant. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So the weekly chart here is setting up a very interesting setup. Okay, what I'm seeing here is a possible high odds that this is a false breakout. Okay, I'm looking to get short and actually have initiated some short positions on this breakout here. Okay, why? It's extended up. Volume is diminished. The rolling average has just moved over. We've got a possible head and shoulders top. The odds are on the side of this thing going lower. Now that does not mean it's going to go lower. Okay, you got to have a stop. Where should your stop be? Where's my stop? It's somewhere right above this 110 mark. Okay, slightly above. I got a cushion in there that I use based on my trading um, technique, my personal trading technique, where I don't put stops anymore right at specific candlesticks. I have an allowance that I put in that's worked out really well. So I've got to stop above this area, but it shouldn't be much past here. Okay, if you're a classic technical trader and you're short, you've got this high here that you want to get out at, and realize that ultimately your ultimate stop's got to be up above this high here. Okay, where this peak was met. But this looks like a classic head and shoulders, although it's really ugly. But you've got to move up here, very precipitous. Doesn't look as, it looks more flat here. You've already had a couple of failed attempts to go lower. 3 actually here, here, and here. This breakout here, weak volume. Earnings season coming up. Unless earnings season rips, if things start to disappoint, I see us starting to come back down. So like I said, I'm nibbling into a short position here on the Qs off this beautiful setup. So I want to share this with you guys in this video. And again, I don't condone any trading. If you have no trading experience, okay, do not follow my advice here. Just track it, okay? Let the results kind of play out in the future. Again, like I'm talking about the future and what I'm doing, like I did in the last video. I'm going to talk about a couple of long positions I talked about and took in the last video and made gobs of cash on the move back up here. Okay, so beautiful. Got short here, got out, looking to get short again. And like I said, it's starting to nibble in right now. It's getting extended. Do not be buying this break. I found that if you buy breakouts like this that are extending the weekly, chances of it coming down, at least taking out these lows, 106, I think it's very high. Okay? It may not go down. It may come out and make a higher. It may come down to 105, 104, then turn around and go back and start to challenge these highs. But I see this as a high odds breakout that fails, in that meaning it would take out where your classic stops are at about 106, 106 and change. Okay, so that's what I'm doing on the Qs, and that's the update on the Qs. The SPYs, very similar. You don't have a head here. You got more of a lower low, so it's showing more weakness. But this move up here, pretty precipitous. A couple of fakes lower, 1, 2, 3, all failed off a classic stop perspective. You're coming up here to the resistance area. You're up. The moving average is rolled over. Okay, on the weekly, I think it's a higher odds short than it is a long. Why not? I mean, in my opinion, it is. There's no doubt about it. Now, that doesn't mean this thing can't go to 250 in the next week. Okay, you got to use stops. I tweeted about this a couple times. In fact, I had called a trade on Twitter that failed badly. And I said, take your stop and get out. I said, that's why stops. And the thing kept going in the wrong direction. Not the wrong direction, but the direction I didn't take the trade. And I thought, thank God for the stop. That's how you got to treat your stops, guys. You get your stop, take it. Okay. My hypothesis is that we're going to go lower. This breakout's going to fail, meaning that we're at least going to come down and take out these lows here. Now, that's not a lot, okay? But from my experience, I think the higher odds that that's going to happen. Now, how far we come down from here, I don't know. We'll see. Trade it candle by candle, day by day, week by week, okay, to your plan. I think it's very reasonable this comes back down to the 195 area, okay? Again, over several weeks, not in one fell swoop, okay? But again, if it takes out the highs and my stop in the area up here where my arrow is here on the weekly, I'm ghost. I'm out. Take my loss. Look for another setup. Okay, and who knows? I may be talking about getting long in next month's video. Okay, if things start to change. But right now, my lean is to the short side. I talked about gold in general and how I got long. I'm still long. Um, I've ridden this out, taken profits on some, but still holding a solid position and looking to add to the position. Now, we haven't had much of a pullback. When I last did my video, we were around the 118 area here on GLD, and you can see that we're basically gone nowhere in the last 5-6 weeks, which is fine. It's just digesting this massive move up. That's all it's doing is pulling back, rolling out the moving average starting to roll over. I'd love to see us settle in here around 115, 114, 115, and I'll add to the position again. And I got back down. I got in down here at 103, 102. Okay, sold some in this massive climactic type move, but held some because I'm at a longer term picture of a longer term move on this thing. So that's my GLD assessment. A couple of other longs I got on, and I've bailed on these now because we have gotten long in the tooth. XHB, bought it, sold it up here at minor resistance. Okay, you've got the declining moving averages. Enough's enough. $33 a share. I took my profits. Beautiful trade. DHI was the other one I got in on. I talked about in the last video. If you want to take a look or watch that video if you haven't, my entry on that one was at $24 a share. Wrote it up beautifully. Look, minor resistance here around 31. Okay, it did pop up. I got around 30. Again, not a bad $6 move off 24. That's 25% move in about what is that? If my math's right here, 2, 4, 5, 6 weeks. Very nice run on DHI. Okay, so I took my profits. Again, this could go higher, but I think it's going to settle in first. I think you'll get another chance to get in if the home builders start running. Like I said, this is one of the strongest ones I believe from a chart perspective, and so this is one I'll play long if I like the setup. But right now it's too extended. I'm going to wait for the pullback, take my profits. Okay, look to go forward. Facebook's another one I took for a ride, and I'm out. I'm out once again. Again, you've got a double top possibly setting up here. It's extended into that double top. To me, the higher odds trade is to take your profits, get out, and look to get back in. If it keeps going, great. Salute it, wave at it, say bon voyage. But I got my profits out of it. Okay, got in here in the early February range off this move to 100, and it held solid. And it's just been a nice grinder right back at the highs. 115 target, 115 outro, profits. Okay. Nice ride. Now, what am I going to do? Again, I don't think anything, as I went through my universe of stuff looking for stuff to buy, there's really nothing to buy. The golds, I think, I'm watching those to add to the positions. But again, the weeklies are a little extended. You've got nothing really here pattern-wise. I'd like to see a shakeout to the downside. Solid move lower first. Watching Silver Wheaton. That one had a down day here today on volume. Okay, it took out this pivot. Might get a nice pullback here, looking for a move. Maybe it's around 15, 14.50, 15, that range to buy there. GLD, I talked about that one already. GDX is another mining ETF. Oops, that DX is not what I wanted. I want GDX. Again, so you can see it's extended here, and there's really no setup. So we need to get more of a pullback here, in my opinion, before I want to put some capital to this trade. Okay, so those are the ones I'm watching at this time. So again, in general, I'm not a buyer of anything really here. Like I said, I'm stalking some things. Talked about the golds, the miners. There's things like that have moved really big like this. They're just so extended. Target, Facebook, up to resistance areas that buying them now is a very low odds proposition. In fact, if anything, if you're leaning short, like I said, I'm using the major ETFs, Qs and SPYs. But you could also short Facebook, but I don't want to. I like that more as a long, but it's too extended to own here, I think, in my opinion. Because I'm in and out. Okay, I'll hold stuff for a few months at times. Typically, though, for a few weeks, and I'll ride these ebbs and flows. So Target here, for example, had a down day, but it popped right back up. You can see the ability to bounce when it came down and tested this pivot point here on the 60-minute chart. It popped right back up, holding here. What you want to see now, if you're a bull, in general, again, let's go back to the Qs and the SPYs here. Let me pull up my Qs. If you're a general market bull, what we want to see now is you don't want to chase and buy it. Okay, you want to settle in. Again, spend some time here, base out, build a solid foundation, and then work to get higher and get above these highs. Okay, like I said though, right now, my bias is more to the short side, and I'm going to take chip shots okay, at the short side, especially on things that are staying. Now, if it sits here, and say for example, um, it just sits here at 108, 109, 108 for the next month. Okay, now the um, the strength of a rebound off this move up back to the downside, okay, is diminished. It's basically used off all that energy it had built. This kind of like the spring that's pulled back here. And if it just kind of sits there, then it's kind of dissipated. And when it dissipates, then you want to look to go the other way in most cases. Again, case by case, we'll see what happens. All right. Okay, I hope you found this video useful. I will I'm thinking about doing a scanning video, putting some ideas together. But again, I was going to do it this time, but I'm looking through as I scan. There's not a lot to buy. Most people are buyers. I'll talk short like I did on a few things here for those of you guys that do short things. But again, trade to your own plan. I suggest you don't trade any real shares on anything that I'm talking about here. Okay, again, at your own discretion with your own experience. If you don't know what you're doing, please don't, because you're probably not going to have a plan. You're not going to know when to get in. You're not going to have a stop. And you may get away with it for a while, but all it takes is one big one, and you'll end your trading career. So be careful, okay? Be careful. Trade safe. You ever want to get a question on any of this stuff that I'm talking about, hit me up on Twitter or hit me up at tom@tomwheelertrading.com. Have a great trade month. Earnings season's coming up next in the next week or two. It's my favorite time to trade for the next 6 weeks. So I'll try to throw some more updates. I know I've been kind of absent here, but of course earnings season wound down. I took some time off. I've been doing more swing type positions and multi-week holds, and it's been very fruitful. Thank you so much, guys. We'll see you in the next video.